Now, as I mentioned, Toussaint, he managed to organize the blacks against the invading armies. After defeating the French, Toussaint thought that their fight would be over, but the British soon arrived. They saw amongst this chaos an advantage, or a potential advantage, that they could gain in terms of having this colony, because obviously the British would see this as a way to make money too. And again, the British underestimated the power of not only the slaves, but also the colonial armies of the French. The French had declared war on Great Britain at this point, and colonial expansion seemed ripe for the taking. Gaining support of the white plantation owners, the British managed to gain control over key coastal areas, again using their navy. Remember the power of the British Navy at this point. But they soon found themselves fighting against multiple black armies. The invasion turned into a war of attrition that dragged on until 1798. Remember, the war of attrition is a very slow war where you make very little progress and people are making small gains over a long period of time. The British leadership saw the fighting as futile and negotiated a peace in which they supported Toussaint in exchange for promises to allow trade to continue and to not send revolutionary expeditions to British possessions. So with the British withdrawal, the island was in the hands of Toussaint and his blacks and the gens de couleur. These two groups now, obviously, gens de couleur and the blacks, gens de couleur had been free men. They turned against each other and engaged in further warfare. The gens de couleur were decisively defeated in 1800 and 1801. Toussaint has another victory. He then turned to conquer the eastern and Spanish part of the island. The new French government, the consulate, recognized Toussaint as Governor-General and Commander-in-Chief of the colony. Also in 1801, Toussaint put into place a constitution for the country. While Saint-Domingue nominally remained part of the French Empire, this was seen as a bid for independence by the French leader Napoleon, who now comes in to play. In January 1802, Napoleon sends an expeditionary force to the island to prevent it from breaking free from the empire. He was worried that they were going to break free from the empire, and so he sent out a force to try and see what was going on and prevent it if necessary. Toussaint, after initial resistance, attempted negotiations with the French, but instead they arrested him, sent him to France, where he was imprisoned in a jail in the Alps. He died here of malnutrition and exposure. While this was happening, the French fought against the Haitian guerrillas. In May 1803, the French resumed the Napoleonic Wars. This was a huge war, very financially costing, and it was against Great Britain. Because of this, they lacked the resources to continue fighting against the Haitian revolutionaries. So we have the war between France and Great Britain, the Napoleonic Wars, and because of this, the French lost money and resources, so they couldn't continue this war against the Haitian revolutionaries. While the guerrillas besieged the coastal towns, the French now had to contend with the British Navy. Remember the strength of the British Navy. Keeping Haiti had been very costly for Napoleon, very expensive, and in November he decided to evacuate the remaining French soldiers. So France now are evacuating, leaving Haiti to its own devices. January 1st, 1804, the Republic of Haiti was proclaimed. The name change representing a break with Europe and its traditions. Very few whites remained and the blacks were in power in the new country. It was governed by Jean-Jacques Dessalines, this guy, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and I will spell that for you. Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Again, my French is appalling. Jean-Jacques Dessalines. And he was Toussaint's faithful lieutenant who implemented a ruthless military rule and even crowned himself emperor of Haiti. His brutality included the massacre of all remaining whites on the island and a return to plantation labor to resuscitate the economy. He co-opted the gens de couleur, so he got them to work with him to oversee the plantations as Africans once again worked in the fields in harsh conditions. So things hadn't really changed. Even though that they'd got rid of the empirical rulers, the new government just did exactly what had been done before to get economic conditions right. He immediately faced opposition for this. So straight away, obviously, they've just been through this war to get rid of this, and now it's been replaced by something similar. And he was assassinated in 1806. Although the whites were gone, Haitian society remained stratified, so it had upper, middle, lower kind of class structures. The gens de couleur replaced the whites as a dominant group. The black masses remained below them. Haiti was a beacon of hope, though, for abolitionists in North America, and a warning for the Creole population in Spanish America. So, Haiti, the Revolution Haiti, threw out the French, replaced with quite a similar structure, and it still was an unfair structure in terms of society, but they had thrown out their rulers, the French.